Welcome back to the Metronome Madness League. It is the Charming Charmeleons facing off against the Crazy Crocodiles, continuing round number 7 of Season 8. Dialga's out for the, Charmeleons. And then we have Zarude out for the Crocodiles. Zarude's going to start things off against the Dialga. It goes for an Aura Sphere. Aura Sphere super effective against Dialga. That was a good hit. Good start for the Crocodiles. Can the Charmeleons retaliate? They go for a Nuzzle, which will be resisted, but I don't think that's the point of the move. Nuzzle, of course, has a 100% chance of paralyzing, so that Zarude is now paralyzed. And that could give the Charmeleons the edge here. Dialga is now faster. That works out in their favor. There goes the Energy Ball, which also will be resisted. Not the best move. Yeah, barely does any damage to Zarude. However, does get a special defense drop, which definitely can be helpful to the Charmeleons in the future. There goes the present. It's avoided. Dialga does not want any gifts from you. There we go, Dialga. Gonna go ahead with a Tearful Look. A bit more setup here. Zarude doesn't look like a Pokemon that would care about a Tearful Look, but yet it does lower its attack stats, and it's fully paralyzed, giving the Charmeleons another turn. There we go. Charmeleon's gonna go forward with an Icy Wind. Now that's one super effective move. Icy Wind will land. Does a lot of damage. Zarude down. Oh, about a fifth of his HP, I would say. It's almost in the red. That was a good hit by the Dialga. Perfect strategy by the Charmeleons. They lowered the stats first and then moved forward with a super effective move. Now they go for Sand Tomb. Of course, that's resisted. It does put Zarude in the red. However, I don't think he'll be knocked out by this Sand Tomb here. It doesn't. It hangs on for at least one more turn. Has to break through the paralysis, though, in order to land a hit. And the Crocodiles are going to want to land a big hit if they want to make this part of the match count. Dialga, of course, is going to be faster. And, oh, Zarude avoids the Horn Drill. So it does get to attack. This time it goes for a Zap Cannon. And that does not land, and so Zarude goes down to the Sand Tomb. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Metronome Madness League. And of course, I would like to give a special thanks to my patrons for supporting me in the channel. Thank you very much as we continue on with this battle. Crocodiles send out their Regidrago. Regidrago is going to have to make up for some bad turns on the Crocodile side. There was a Safeguard, so the Charmeleons take the opportunity to set up a bit, cloaking itself in a veil. Regidrago with the speed swap. There we go. A Leaf Blade coming from the Regidrago. Dialga with the X-Scissor. X-Scissor actually doing a decent amount, more than I expected to. Regidrago making a bit of a hit. And here we go, the Anchor Shot. And here comes Dialga with the Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword lands. Ooh, that's a big hit. Regidrago in the yellow. Crocodiles are not looking too good in this battle at all. Dialga has been on the field the entire time so far, and it is dealing out some damage. There goes the Rock Tomb. Dialga with the Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz, not very effective. Regidrago down to about a quarter of its health. Dialga gets to eat its Oranberry. Oranberry doesn't heal back that much. but does put it back in the green, excuse me, and it takes a hit right there, all the way down to the yellow. Goes down. So first Pokemon to go down on the Charmeleons. Entei gonna go for on the Charmeleons. This time it goes for a Solar Blade. That's a bad move. Entei is gonna charge up for a turn, and then it's not even gonna do that much damage, so it's gonna waste 2 turns. Regidrago goes for the Terrain Pulse. That only does a little bit to the Entei. However, Regidrago's at such low HP. That Solar Blade made it actually take it out, even though it's resistant. We'll see what happens. There goes the Solar Blade. And, yep, Regidrago does go down to it. Didn't need to take 2 turns, though. That's still a bad move choice on the Charmeleons, but I guess it works out for them, as the Crocodiles have to move on to their last Pokemon, which is the Garchomp. Garchomp gets to go first here. Could have a typing advantage if you choose to go for ground type moves, but no, it goes for a Fell Stinger instead. Fell Stinger, not very effective. Entei going for a low sweep. Low sweep, doing a little bit of damage, gonna slow the Garchomp down. Charmeleon's trying to be able to move first. We'll see if that speed drop helps him out any. Rough Skin also doing a bit more damage to that Entei. Garchomp now with an Infestation. Infestation, not very effective, but will do that residual damage at the end of every turn. Could help the Garchomp do damage on moves that it misses or moves where it sets up. Here we go, Entei. Entei goes for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb not very effective against Garchomp. Entei has been going for Garchomp, but just hasn't been able to deal that much damage. Garchomp speed drops again. Goes for this Shell Sidearm. Garchomp's looking pretty good right here. Shell Sidearm takes Entei all the way down to 44 HP. It eats its berry. It's going to raise its defenses, trying to last a bit longer, but that Infestation is dealing a lot of damage to it. It's at 21 HP now. Entei going for the Spit Up. Did not stockpile anything first, so that didn't work. Garchomp uses Roar. Interesting. So it's going to force Entei to swap out. It was going to Faint soon. So I'm questioning the strategy, but Reshiram is out on the field now for the Charmeleons. Maybe Garchomp wants to deal with that, and it figures it can quickly dispatch of the Entei when it comes back out onto the field. Let's see what happens as Reshiram goes first. Goes for the Bug Bite. Bug Bite. Doing a little bit of damage to Rough Skin. Probably not worth a move like that. Garchomp going for the Body Slam. Body Slam could be good. Body Slam actually doing a lot to Reshiram. About a third of its HP in one hit. That's what the Crocodiles wanted to see. Reshiram now gonna go forward with an Expanding Force. That does a lot of damage. Garchomp at a quarter of its HP. It's gonna go for a double team. Smart move from the Crocodiles. You can't lose if you can't be hit. So Garchomp puts up that double team, hoping to afford itself a few extra turns. There goes the restroom now going for a lick. It does still land it despite the double team, and they get the paralysis. Rough Skin, of course, doing its damage. And Garchomp is very close to the danger zone. There we go. There goes Strength. It's coming from the Garchomp. Strength doing a lot of damage. Garchomp is putting in some work for a pseudo-legendary. It is actually handling the Pokemon it's facing off against, but I just don't think it'll be enough. Here comes the Reshiram now with a superpower. Oh, that's it. That's it right there. Garchomp goes down to the superpower. The crit didn't matter. And the Rough Skin doesn't take out Reshiram. You gotta just give props to Garchomp how close it came to taking out those last two Pokemon. Unfortunately, it did not work out for them, and they lost the battle, and the win, of course, goes to the Charmeleons. That was the last match for round number 7 for this division. And here are the standings so far. The Charmeleons at number 1, followed by the Eevee Hearts. Gravely Gengars at 3. Heavenly Heatrans at number 4. And rounding out the back of the division, you have the Master Mewtwo's, BG's, Crazy Crocodiles, and the Cyndaquils finally with a win this round. So they are 1-6. They want to make up for lost time, and maybe they can win the last few matches of the season. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. We definitely appreciate it, and I will catch you next time.